Welcome to the Irish Craft Beer Show. My name is Brian Condren, and today's episode is all about American beers. I'll be brewing an American Pale Ale, and along with a good friend, I'll be sampling some of the best craft beers from across the pond. Long the ride has been like having sex in the canoe. American breweries were in fact trailblazers in the craft beer movement and introduced new styles to the world that revolutionised hop flavour. Those pale ales and IPAs, ubiquitous now, would never have existed without American craft breweries, so I think we can forgive them their light lagers. Maybe. Today I'm brewing my house pale ale with a grist of 80% Minch Pale Ale Malt, 10% Munich Malt, 6% Crystal, and to 8 head retention, 4% wheat. The hops are Magnum for bittering with a mix of Amarillo and Citra for flavour and aroma. We'll catch up with the brew day throughout the episode, but first, on with the beer tasting.
Join me in the middle of a brew day where I'm joined by Reuben Gray. Hello, Reuben. Now, anyone who's a fan of brewing or beer in Ireland should know Reuben. You're president of Brewer, supporting craft beer in Ireland. You're well known from your Tale of Ale blog.
Yeah.
And you also like to drink beer.
Occasionally.
Occasionally, yes.
Yeah.
So while we're here for a brew day, but you've recently returned back from the United States and picked up one or two that we can't get here.
One or two, yeah. So I brought 6 today, only 2 of which I've definitely had before, and they're worth drinking. So the others are local kind of Chicago area beers, so that's what we're having today.
Right, well, we'll just have a quick jump cut and then suddenly we'll have a beer. And we have a glass of fizzy yellow liquid. And you're saying American beer, Reuben. This wasn't from an Anheuser-Busch brewery by any chance, is it?
No, it's apparently from a brewery called Four Hands. It's one that I kind of briefly came across in the US, but mostly just saw some cans of it. I just thought, why not? I'll bring this over.
It's a nice looking can.
Nice looking can. It's called, there's a lot of words in this can, but I think it's called Contact High, because it's quite big. It's 5% pale ale of some kind. From St. Louis, Missouri. Or St. Louis.
St. Louis,
I should say. Apparently, it pairs well with spicy food and poultry. So,
right. We don't have any of that right now. No. But it's a nice aroma and grapefruit.
Bonus when lit. I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate.
Anyway, right. So let's give it a bash.
Has a kind of aroma of how do we put this? Orange cordial. Orange cordial. And concentrated orange juice that you get. You put water into it.
We actually have to have the bottle over there.
Oh, there you go.
Off camera, but it's true. Yeah, I would say rather than orange cordial, it's probably close to, squeezed orange juice.
Yes.
And that does come through in the taste as well. This is quite fresh.
Yeah, very fresh.
It's very fresh. And it actually is quite refreshing.
It is. I wonder, is there a date on the can? How fresh? So
that's before 9th of 6th.
9th of 6th, 2015.
So that's American date. So that's 6th of September. That's before 6th of September.
6th of September. Question about this then is, what is their shelf life? A lot of American breweries put out a shelf life of 3 months on a hoppy beer. So
that would be 6th of June. That 1 month, or 2 months old.
Yeah.
So I like it.
It's very interesting.
Very interesting.
It's perhaps slightly too fruity for my own taste, but it's definitely refreshing. It's only 5%, so it's almost quasi-sessionable. So
yeah. No, it's quite tasty. Congratulations. I've forgotten the name of the brewery again.
Four Hands.
Congratulations, Four Hands.
Because 4 hands are better than 2. Robinsons don't do canned beer, but if they did, it would look like this.
Afterwards, I looked up Contact High from Four Hands Brewery, and it did in fact contain fresh orange zest, so our orange cordial review wasn't far off. A quick break to boil off and transfer wort to the kettle, then back to the tasting.
And we're on our second beer now, slightly darker looking beer. What are we drinking this time?
We're staying with Four Hands Brewing in Missouri, and we're on the cast iron oatmeal brand. There's the front of the can. We'll take a look. Apparently, it food pairs well with something called either charcuterie or charcuterie and a hearty stew.
A hearty stew.
A hearty stew.
We'll go with that instead of the charcuterie. So clear beer again as well.
It's
And
beautiful.
lovely ruby colour.
Yeah, it looks kind of like your typical Irish red versus a brown, but
It's caramel on those.
it's like into smoke off it.
I think there's black malt in that. Very smoky. Oh, I can imagine this with a barbecue.
I can imagine using this in a barbecue sauce.
I like this a lot. Very good beer.
It is perhaps, and it is typical of American beers, slightly overcarbonated for what it should be, perhaps, but it's not overly so. Not like Aussie beer. Pay no attention, Cam.
It's proper meaty beer.
Mm.
Oh, very meaty.
It is, and it tastes a lot heavier than it is. It's still quite light in body, so it's
What was the ABA?
5.5.
5.5, yeah. Anyway, I was two good beers from, again, I forgot. No, I remember this. Four Hands? Four Hands.
Four Hands Brewing.
Four Hands
St.
Brewery
Louis,
from St.
Missouri.
Louis, Missouri.
My apologies for the sound quality. I didn't notice, but I moved the mic that should have been recording my own voice. So again, two good beers from Four Hands Brewery in St. Louis, Missouri. Cast Iron Oatmeal Brown, if you didn't catch the review, was a masterpiece of caramel, chocolate and coffee. Add some hops to the brew and then on to the next beer.
Well, this one is in fact actually a Chicago beer. It's not one that I came across in my travels in Chicago. It's from the Atlas Brewing Company. This one is called Rookery. It is there. It is a rye pale ale, and it is 6.7%. There's nothing interesting on the can. It's, no spiel, so all we know is it is a rye pale ale from Chicago.
Yes,
So,
I'm getting kind of marmalade notes on the nose.
well, first thing to say that it is not clear. It's quite a cloudy beer.
Cloudy.
Kind of has this wheat beer look about it.
Mm.
So, I'm going to assume that they don't filter their beer, which is hopefully a good thing. Flavor-wise, let's find out.
A slight hint of that squeezed orange juice.
Yeah. There's also a hint of, this is always a bad thing to say about a beer, but a wet dishcloth thing going on.
That could be the wet dishcloth hanging over there.
Could be, but I don't think so. It's coming directly from my glass. It's not. It's only a very slight hint. I would imagine it's just some slightly dank hops in there. So. That is incredibly tasty, however.
It's a very different beer to the first one we had.
Yeah, well,
Like they're both pale ales, whatever, but they come in different sizes.
this one is, I would describe as chewy.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of body to it. It's definitely unfiltered.
It's quite tasty.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of another Chicago beer, Big Daddy IPA. Big Daddy, I think, from memory, is a bit slightly more bitter. This is a little bit sweeter, but it does have that kind of big, chewy body to it as well. They're around by the same degree. I think Big Daddy was 6.5. That's from memory. I haven't had it in a number of years, though. We need to edit that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Because I said another Chicago brewery is a San Francisco brewery. Let's pretend we just edited that. So, yeah, sorry. Big Daddy is a San Francisco brewery, not a Chicago brewery. Edit complete.
Yes. As I say to all my guests, if I screw up, it gets edited out. If my guest screws up, it gets left in.
Yes, I have Chicago in the brain because I'm just back from there. It's a Chicago beer, so. I was just trying to remember. Last time I had Big Daddy wasn't in Chicago. It was in San Francisco, where the brewery was, when I visited. So,
Well, San Francisco, Chicago, you're just down the road.
exactly, yeah. So it's on the same landmass. It's about that far from each other on the map. So.
Anyway, I'm just noticing that we seem to be having some boils, so brewing duty calls. Let's go and do that.
One of those things I love about having other brewers over on a brew day is to see what bits they do differently. Here's Reuben scraping off all of the hops break. I have never done this. I wonder if it'll make a difference to the final beer. Maybe he's wasting his time. Who knows? This beer had 25 grams of Magnum pellets as the 60-minute hop addition, but in reality it was all about the flavour and aroma hops. Between the 15-minute, 5-minute and flame out additions, as well as dry hopping, I used 100 grams of Citra pellets and 100 grams of Amarillo pellets. I'll include a full recipe in the show notes, but suffices to say the place was smelling great. Anyway, back to the beer tasting, and the next one was one I was very much looking forward to.
The next one is one that I've actually heard of before. This is Bell's Two Hearted.
Anybody who likes American pale ales will know this beer. This Bell's Two Hearted from Michigan. It kind of has a small special place in my heart. Because the beer that got me into beer in the first place, as in the beer that kind of opened me up to not... There was more to life than Guinness and Heineken and all the usual suspects. And even in America, where I showed up as a European, chest puffed out, like American beers, it's all like this, like that. Walked into this little bar in a place called Saugatuck, Michigan. It's right on the Lake Michigan. And walked up to the bar. It was lunchtime. I was just getting a beer to go with my lunch. And saw taps I didn't recognize, so I asked the bartender, "What's this stuff?" And he said, "That's local beer." I was like, "Local beer, huh? There is such a thing." Okay. So I had a pint of local beer. I kind of just pointed and poured. And it was from this brewery, Bell's. It wasn't this one. It was a beer called Oberon, which is sort of orange type wheat beer. So there's no orange in it, but you traditionally put orange into it. A bit like another well-known macro-produced beer called Blue Moon, which is one of the most in the family. But this one's a lot better. And so this kind of opened me up. I did have a lot of Blue Moon in that trip as well. But this is kind of, the next time I was over and had some Bell's beer, it was too hard to kind of looked up and did some research at this point, because by then I was writing about beer.
Yeah.
So Bell's Two Hearted, probably one of the epiphany moments for anybody who's had an IPA. The thing about this beer is, and we haven't even had a taste of it yet, but I think you have. The thing about the Bell's Two Hearted is that it doesn't. In the US, you've got two types of IPA. You've got the West Coast and the East Coast. East Coast tends to be a lot sweeter, versus the much more bitter West Coast. Bell's Two Hearted is from, Michigan's the Midwest. It's kind of not quite the middle of the country, but it's along those lines.
Yeah.
So what they go for here is a perfectly balanced IPA. Closer to what you get in the UK from an English IPA, but using American hops. So you're getting a sort of an orange marmalade type thing, as you normally get on an English IPA, rather than the grapefruit citrus you get on most American IPAs. But it's really well balanced, and it's one of the best. Now, well, it certainly used to be one of the best. A lot of other breweries have caught up with it, but it's one of the best beers ever.
And with that,
Mm-hmm.
it is a great beer.
Oh, it's delicious. Absolutely cracker of a beer. It's hard to even quantify what that special thing is. It's just how well they balance everything together. It doesn't fall on either side of sweet or bitter. It doesn't fall on either side of watery or chewy. It's just everything is right down the middle, by the numbers, exactly how you want your IPA to be. So, yeah.
It's like generally, I would be a big fan of the West Coast IPAs. I must say, when I had Dogfish Head 60-minute IPA, my first thought was disappointment, because I was so used to American IPAs being such bang in your face.
Yeah.
Whereas this now is a lot more understated in the West Coast IPA, but it is very tasty.
Yeah. It's got, it has an intense bitterness, but it's got a big marmalade kind of thing going on. It's chewy orange, but it's not heavy in body.
Yeah.
Now, it's really hard to tell from the can. You can see that sort of little logo thing they have on there. What that actually is, and I can't even tell. Do you know what that is?
It is a thing.
It's a thing. What it is, and I only know this from
Yeah.
previous experience because these cans are brand new. They never canned, and well, the last time I was in Michigan was 3 years ago, so they weren't canning then. It was a lot of bottles. I have a T-shirt. I'm not wearing that one today. It is a salmon. Apparently, salmon's in 2 hearts. I think maybe that's where they get their name from.
They're like
Something.
the doctor.
Yeah. So it's Doctor Who beer.
Hey. Doctor Who and John McCool. Across those two, you get this. I'm really enjoying this beer, but I think that we have to add some more hops.
Just about, yes.
Just heard a notification
that's
from the
it.
phone there. Was that a...
I think that was it, yeah.
Let's go. So, Stupid Brewing got in the way of our beer tasting, but we're back and we have another fizzy yellow stuff and flies in the way. Stay away out of my beer.
It's the attack.
So, what are we drinking now, Reuben?
We're drinking Mojo IPA from the Boulder Beer Company in Colorado. It's a 77.2% IPA. So, yeah, look at this fun can. Look how fun that is.
Wow, fun. And the sun. I'm getting the squeezed orange juice here.
Yes, but less artificial than the first one.
Tropicana orange juice.
Yes. This one's brand sensitive.
Yes.
This one's.
Wow. That's a lot of orange there.
Yep, there is, and the reason for that is it is packed full of Amarillo hops, which give you that big orange flavor.
So is the beer we're brewing today.
Yep, and Citra, and the one that we have. This doesn't mention Citra; it just says Amarillo hops. I wonder if that's single hop or what we're doing is. That's one for right beer later.
Yes. Nice and clear. Good level of carbonation.
Yeah.
As is typical in American beers, very carbonated. But
So interestingly for this one, it doesn't have that nice down middle body that you get on the you are in it. It's. I'm not going to say it's light in body, but it's not. It's more towards the light end of the scale than the chewy end of the scale. It's not quite in the middle, so it's slightly light, but it's still it's not like you're drinking water or Miller Lite.
it's not quite the hop delivery system that's on.
No,
beers are.
no, and
There's a bit of meat to it.
yeah, I mean Colorado is known for its beer,
Yeah.
but it's not particularly known for big hoppy beers. It's just known for lots of different beers. But Boulder's a small town, like it's probably has the population of Mullingar, but it's just more slightly more spread out. That's the way the US is. So.
But yeah, I like it. We haven't had a bad beer yet.
Nope, that's good.
Maybe the next one.
Well, what we have here today, is our second to last beer, is Hop Crisis.
Their second to last beer.
Is it? Oh, no, sorry, this is the
This
last
is
beer.
our last beer.
This is the last beer, okay. So our last beer, we're at that stage already.
Yes.
Hop Crisis from 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Flies buzzing. All right. 21st Amendment in San Francisco. I've been to 21st Amendment in San Francisco in 2012. Let's just say 2012. It was around that time.
I was in San Francisco in 2013. Couldn't find it. We ended up in Thirsty Bear.
Okay, so Thirsty Bear is a really cool place.
Yes.
And here's the thing. So I went from Thirsty Bear. Actually, I started off in Gordon Biersch that particular afternoon. Started with Gordon Biersch, went to Thirsty Bear, and then ended up in 21st Amendment before we went somewhere else. I was absolutely incredibly disappointed by 21st Amendment. Yeah, and here's the reason why. So San Francisco is an expensive city. Very expensive. But everywhere else I've been had a particular price of, you get a flight, it's like $10, $11 or something like that. You usually get between 6, 12 beers, or unless you went out of the main San Francisco city area and went north a bit and you got like up to 20 on. beers, say in Russian River, you got like 24 beers there. And 21st Amendment was charging something along the lines of $20 or so. I don't know. It was a lot of money for very little beer on the flight, and everything was really expensive there. And the beer was... There's nothing wrong with the beer. The beer was fine. But that's it. It was good. It was just... It wasn't worth the price hike. And Thirsty Bear was literally just a couple of blocks away.
Yeah.
A couple of blocks. Yeah.
We were that close.
You were that close, yeah.
You see, when I went to San Francisco, we had no roaming in our phones, and this was before we had downloadable maps. And we found Thirsty Bear. We said, let's just stay here. We couldn't find 21st Amendment.
So what I had was I used offline maps, Copilot, for a long time. And so I put in the addresses for those places offline. And I know I'm not going to have internet when I'm out in that. Anyway, unlike any of the other cans today, which are just kind of logos and designs and then some warnings from the government, this one is close to a beaver town. There's a story here. Okay.
Right.
So, hop crisis. Now, you may or may not remember if you're interested in hoppy beers or if you're interested in brewing beer, that a few years ago we did have a slight hop crisis, and this is what this is all about. So this is quite new. I didn't have this when it was in hop in 21st Amendment. So what it says, during the hop crisis, which was around about 2013, 2014, was it?
I think it was earlier than that, was it?
Yeah, it was around.
It was around,
yeah. So during the hop crisis, some brewers were forced to skimp on hops, depriving the people of their right to hoppy aromatic beer.
Bastards.
Let's turn around here. So here's the story. The Hop Syndicate is hoarding hops in a remote warehouse. This is not cool. So we have to do something. Now we have weird red writing. Absolutely, it is our duty and our right. No one has ever had a good reason before. Free the hops. Yes, free the hops.
Free the hops.
Yeah, free the hops, because that's a new thing. Free the hops.
Free the hops.
All right, let me move on to no one has ever escaped from Alcatraz except in the movies.
Sean Connery escaped from Alcatraz.
Are we going the right way? No, hang on. Let's move it another way. All right, we have to break out.
Following lines after having a few beers is difficult. Okay.
Well, the lines are going weird. So this one goes down here. Yeah. Then there's an X, and then so anyway. So no one has ever escaped from Alcatraz except in the movies. It's for this one. No worries, brother. We're gonna surf out incoming boards. They have to break out of Alcatraz on fast. Okay, I think the first half of this was actually starting to make sense. The second half is just utter bollocks.
Yes.
Either way, this is an ale aged on oak spirals. So it's basically an Imperial Budweiser.
Yes.
9.7% alcohol by volume.
With aged Budweiser.
94 IBUs. 94. They couldn't stretch to the 100, could they? No. 94. Some bloody hop prices. No. And after all that, it is a
tasty beer.
Tasty beer.
Nice and clear.
Nice and clear. It's kind of, that's, to be honest with you, that's all I can say about it. It's a tasty beer. I don't taste the 9.7% ABV.
Not at all.
There's not a huge amount of aroma. It's just a nice, tasty.
Nice, tasty beer. I would be quite happily drinking this.
Yeah.
All night, and then you'd carry me home.
Yeah. The spiel was actually a bit more interesting than the beer, unfortunately. It's just a good, tasty beer. It's nothing interesting. So, yeah, just like all the other beers that I have from 21st Amendment. Sorry, 21st Amendment, but you're overpriced and you're just not that interesting.
Watch out! So I just added my Whirlfloc and chiller. So 10 minutes to go.
What you doing now, Brian?
5 minutes tops.
5 minutes tops.
Your 5 minute warning, people.
Happy goodness.
And that's 60 minutes. So the ceremonial switching off of the kettle.
Ta-da!
That is one hot plug.
Is that a PC plug by any chance, or is that a proper kettle C15 connector?
Well, that's an extension cord.
Right.
This is a proper kettle connector.
Okay.
Right, and we'll add our
last edition, and that was actually cool. They're all floating on the the break.
Brian, that looks like pea soup.
This will turn into beer.
Yeah, and this is why I prefer whole leaf hops, because it looks nice and pleasant. This just looks like... Would anybody drink this?
Pea soup. Look at that. All of the hops. The hops do drop out in fermentation.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we tasted American beers, we brewed an American pale ale. I think this is a pretty successful day.
Yep.
Okay, let's drink some Irish beer.
Awesome.
Right, so that was a very interesting flight of American beers. Thank you very much, Reuben, for bringing it back to me. We're now back drinking, back to the old reliable, something Irish.
Yes.
But I will say, like, the reason why most of us drink Irish beer is because it's local and we support local things, and if we drink this, as always, Metalman is one great beer. I have to say, kind of what was kind of a bit of an eye-opener for me today is the reason why I tend to avoid American beers normally is by the time we get them here, they've been sitting on a boat for months.
Yeah, they tend not to be fresh.
Yeah,
And with hop-forward beers, you want them pretty much as fresh from the brewery as you can get them.
Yeah, like all the beers today, like some of them were better than others, but all of them were fresh, and all of them did taste well, and you'd be quite happy drinking any of those beers.
Yeah, most of them are only a week or two old when I picked them up in Chicago, and then brought them back, and that was only a couple of weeks ago. So they're, at most a month old.
Yeah. So while America has some great beers, sometimes while we're drinking them here, we're not drinking them as they're intended, which is why it's great that we have, our local breweries like Metalman.
Absolutely.
And so I had a great day today, and we got a beer brewed. Still have to do a lot of cleaning right now, but that's not going to go on the podcast. Still 2 hours worth of cleaning. Ruben will piss off then.
That can be edited out.
Ruben will piss off then to the pub. I'll meet him there. I'm going to enjoy my Metalman and great day of American beers. So cheers, Ruben.
Cheers, bud.
Oh, hang on. I need this.
Brewing beer. What they don't want you to know is you have to clean this shit up